So, as traumatic as this lawsuit is for you, I don't want to do it either. Just make a sincere apology, bro.
Having rebroadcasted a statement made by Destiny on my stream, I did display the very disgusting comment for 40 minutes, and this isn't a message I want to spread. So, I'm sorry to Ethan and Ela and your family.
So, if there's any grace there, fine, I'll give it to him. Hey, welcome to another DingoCast video, and today we're going to be looking at an apology by Idubbbz, who has decided to apologize to Ethan Klein and sort of tell his side of the story. Again, if you don't know what happened, basically Ian had reposted a remark by Destiny, whom told his viewers that Ethan Klein molested his children. So we're going to get into that. Basically, what happened was Ian broadcasted it on his live for like 40 minutes or something like that, and also I think reposted it on his Twitter. And Ethan didn't like that, and so Ethan said, I'm going to sue you, and he sent a C&D, a cease and desist, to Ian, who resides in Canada. And if you don't know, Canada has defamation policies a lot more stringent than here in the States, so let's check it out.
Hello, everyone. I am going to be talking about a very important and heavy topic for me. If you're unfamiliar with the context of any of this, I'll give you a brief rundown. But that is not the main purpose of this video. I do think it's important to share a little bit of my side of the story, but I don't want to take away from the purpose of this video, and that is to apologize to Ethan Klein.
So, I mean, right off the bat, it does sound pretty good. It does sound like a sincere opening to what will be an apology. First off, I'll say I wouldn't even agree with the lawsuits that Ethan is throwing around right now. But I don't mind his targets. I honestly don't mind. I don't agree with the lawsuits, but I also don't mind the targets.
And his family, especially his kids. Basically, Ethan is suing me for having rebroadcasted a statement made by Destiny on my stream. I did display the very disgusting comment for 40 minutes, and it was wrong. It was a comment from Destiny, and I even said that I don't agree with it, but it sort of highlights how I knew that it was a wrong thing to put out there into the universe and show people.
One thing I always say about this guy, right? I liked him. I watched him in 2015, 16. And then somewhere along the line, he just dropped off. He stopped being the person I think he thought he was. And tried to, I don't know, went crazy and went towards the progressive left. And I don't like Idubbbz anymore, obviously, but at least he's consistent, because he's always said, I don't want to put bad stuff into the ether, even if he puts bad stuff into the ether. But I'll give him that. He's at least consistent in that respect. So if there's any grace there, fine, I'll give it to him.
Regardless of the point I was making, it was wrong. I was angry, and I was like, how do I get this guy to, one, not clip me, not mock me and harass me on his live stream, and two, this guy's a fucking bully. I'm angry. I'm angry that this multimillionaire is silencing people and suing people who have a much smaller audience than he does.
Yeah, I don't know about that, though. I don't know. You could make the argument that Casey Tron, probably the smallest creator. Frogan was voted, keeps getting these awards at these award shows, and Denham's smaller people, sure, but maybe not the case for Noah Samson, for instance. I don't know if that's true. And that's definitely not true for Idubbbz, even though his viewership has probably dropped off since, he's decided to be more political in a specific way, in a left-leaning way, and a lot of his audience has abandoned him.
And, can barely defend themselves. And so I'm angry. I don't like bullies. So I wanted to do something that would have an impact and, without checking in with myself of whether or not that was a right or wrong thing to do. I justified it in my head at the time. I was like, okay, well, it's not my words, and it's actually said by a really bad guy, Destiny.
That's a good point. People were criticizing Ethan Klein for not having actually gone after the person who said it, Destiny, and I kind of have a theory behind that. One, Canadian, Idubbbz is now in Canada. Defamation law is a lot different. And two, Destiny is a huge streamer. Should he get in a battle with Destiny, Destiny could probably defend himself adequately, because basically we're talking about millionaires. That's my take on that. And I don't know the specifics, I'm no lawyer, but what I also say is that a lawsuit against Destiny probably wouldn't succeed anyway, and it would be kind of a money drain.
Not a fan of that guy. It's very clear that it was never the right thing to do. It was a comment about Ethan and his children, and it was disgusting. I said at the time in the stream that I don't agree with it, but still sharing it and broadcasting it to people for 40 minutes, that was an irresponsible and reckless thing to do, especially for parents. Like, there are many parents with kids out there who do not want to see that, and it's painful. And I'm sure it was extremely painful for Ethan and Hila to read that and have it pop up again and again and again. And just because it's coming from a piece of guy, and I'm showing it to people, like, look what this piece of said. It's wrong. It's wrong to do. And I didn't come to this overnight, right? Like, to be frank, I'm angry. I do not like Ethan. I think he's doing a lot of damage to people online. And it changed the way that I was thinking about it. I didn't think about it. I didn't ground myself. I didn't think about, like, who is actually being affected in this instance. And Ethan's family and his kids are being affected. I just because I don't like Ethan, I think it's wrong to find an attack vector that is his kids. It's foul. It's not okay. And I think it was wrong for me to use the Destiny screenshot as a cudgel to make my point. I didn't need to use the Destiny screenshot to make my point. There's a million other ways I could have done it, but I didn't. And I regret that I didn't, and I regret that I ever put that screenshot on my live stream. That's the main reason why I feel like I do need, for myself, for my soul, to own up to this and acknowledge that I went too far.
That's another thing. I was also wondering why Ethan was so adamant about going about Idubbbz and going after him with this lawsuit. And I'm like, wait a minute. This is a guy who's expressed disdain for the United States, a place he was born in. I think that also had a factor in it, too. And, I'll give Ian this. At least he is owning up to it. At least he is owning up to the acknowledgement that, maybe don't involve the kids, maybe don't involve the family members, especially for a guy who has expressed that maybe he wants to become a father one day. I'm sure he doesn't want that smoke. I'm sure he's thinking about that too.
It wasn't okay. Ethan and Hila and their family do not deserve that. At the end of the day, whatever happens with the lawsuit is what it is. For myself, I needed to make it known on the internet that what I did was wrong, and I don't want to be that person. I don't want to behave that way. I want to make content that I'm proud of. I don't want to give in to a harassment back and forth online. I want to put my energy into making content that I can be proud of and that I'm not going to be ashamed of because I lost the plot. I want to stay focused. I want to check in with myself and know what it is I want to be and what I want to do and what message I want to spread. And this isn't a message I want to spread. So I'm sorry to Ethan and Hila and your family. You guys didn't deserve that. I'm going to think about all of this a lot more, I'm sure. But for now, I really do want to just get back to making the content that I want to make. Having said all that, I wish everyone the best. I genuinely want to see a better world, and I do not want to be a contributor to what makes it terrible. So long. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Mr. Idubbbz. You know what? Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10 for that apology, yeah, I give it a 10. I give it an 11. I think it was heartfelt. I do think it was motivated by not being sued into the ground by Ethan, who has a lot more resources than I think Idubbbz. I think he blew a lot of his money during that whole boxing stuff, tantrum thing. CC3 was a complete failure. CC4, hopefully it doesn't materialize. So I think it was motivated by that. But Ethan has actually since said he was going to retract the lawsuit based on this apology. Check this out.
Landed actual agents of the government at my door to interview my children against my will with the authority to take them from my home and put them in foster care. It's so much different than it was. Like, all I ever wanted was a little decency for my buddy, you know? So, as traumatic as this lawsuit is for you, I don't want to do it either. Just make a sincere apology, bro. That's it. I'm not looking to destroy their lives or get caught in this, quagmire of a sick, effed up lawsuit. I don't want that. I don't want another lawsuit on my shoulders. That's all I want.
Now, if you didn't know, Ethan Klein is also going after Noah Sampson, and I think this clip actually had a lot to do with this apology that Ian is putting out. Is like, okay, this is my way out. This is how I get out of this. And I think this was a huge motivator. 11 out of 10 apology. I think Ethan is being super, super fair here, even though I don't really agree with the lawsuit, because I don't, it's just like, it's crap. I mean, there's a freedom of speech here, and all he did was repost something that Mr. Destiny posted. If anything, the fair target would have been Destiny. But again, like I said, freaking Destiny's got resources out the ass, too. It would have been a huge money sink, and there's no guarantee this even would have been successful. In fact, I think even Dinubbbz is perhaps prevailing over the lawsuit with Ethan Klein. Maybe. We'll see what happens on that, and I'll report on that later. But, yeah, Ethan basically came out with this statement and said that, yeah, he's dropping the lawsuit. It's fair. And I think this is a net win for both parties, mostly Idubbbz in this case, and check it out. Hi, Ian. I appreciate the thoughtful apology. It means a lot. I've instructed my attorneys to drop the lawsuit entirely. So Ethan is dropping the lawsuit. Huge win for both parties. Probably a little bit of an L for Ethan, because a lot of people were like, okay, Ethan, we get it, but this ain't it. And I don't think it was a good look for Mr. Ethan Klein, per se. But this is a good outcome. Now, some people reacting in the comments, because they can, they got an idea of what's actually going on here. This guy says this is a weird episode of Kickstarter crap. He should go back to that. That's some neutral-ass content right there. I think that would be pretty cool. This other guy says, recession indicator. I don't know. Maybe that's the case. Yeah, probably. I think we've been in a recession for a bit. I just think that. But yeah, definitely the apology, definitely motivated by not being sued by basically a multi-millionaire at this point. Somebody who's kind of savvy. Another guy writes, a video should be titled, "Please Stop Suing Me." Another guy says, homeboy looked at his balance and decided this is cheaper than doubling down. True, very true. Yeah, I think the people could see the writing on the wall on this one. But still, 11 out of 10 apology, and Ethan did the right thing. I probably would say they would probably doing the right thing by not even pursuing it, but it is what it is. What are the targets, and do they deserve it? Canadian Idubbbz, you know, maybe don't hate your own country. You probably wouldn't have seen any inkling of a lawsuit had you still resided within the country of the United States. I'm just saying. I think that's the case. I think that might be the case. Also, the factor that it's destiny. Yeah, that would be the true target of this defamation, and probably not winnable. I don't know. I think I'm going to wrap this video. I'm your host, Dingo of the DingoCast. I am begging for subs at this point. I'd like to get 100 subs by the end of the month. Big shout out to Yeet on Twitter. He's cool. He's a clipper. He does clips, but he's really good at finding the really good stuff. And appreciate anybody who wants to sub. Comment down below your thoughts on whether you agreed with this lawsuit, you didn't agree with it, but you agreed with the target. I don't know. What do you guys think? Thank you. Like the video, share, subscribe, and comment down below, and I will see you later.
Be sure to wipe the seat before you sit down. You don't want to sit in the pee. Oh, check that seat. Believe me, you just can't go through life sitting in the pee.